Some studies have shown that Black Americans have IQs that are 10 to 15 points lower than the average white American. Like, what do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
I think it's basic genetic variation.
Genetic in what regard? I mean, if we took the brain of a 25-year-old black man and the brain of a 25-year-old white man, what is it that they're doing that...
different sizes.
I don't know how you wake up and praise a person who was born in Ethiopia and still say black people have the lowest IQ. Because you're supposed to be white. If you have a higher IQ, you shouldn't be praising a Jesus who is black with a lower IQ. And I don't know where they got this philosophy from, but all I'm trying to say is, if you think black people have a lower IQ, stop worshiping a black Jesus. Create a new one who is white. That's all I'm trying to say.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is.
It's the constant comparison to black people every single time. If a conversation does not have black people, they can't leave. I'm confused. Somebody let me understand. What is the obsession?
Just the chronic lack of development, lack of contributions to mankind. No inventions, no philosophers, no true great masterpiece. If half of Africa was super developed or halfway developed and the other half wasn't, maybe you'd have an argument whether they got colonized or not. Whether they got freed from slavery in 1800 or in 1860. It's the same story everywhere. There's not one written language among them. They don't have books. They don't have words. And there's billions of black people. They do have that lower level of development, and I think that's why they underperform.
If white people had the highest IQs, clearly they should have invented some minerals in their countries, but they were not able to. So tell me why they took their precious time to go to Africa, to go to America, and colonize people there. If they had the highest IQs, if you could develop your countries without the help of black people, why didn't you do it? Because you were so smart. You can have a normal conversation about your race and how smart you all are without including black people. And you say you have the higher IQ? Be for real.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Racism is a sign of low intelligence. It's no coincidence that Wig and them have decided to attack cities that have black leadership. Chicago, DC, LA, New York, Baltimore. Because somehow, out of all the places that Trump has decided to deploy the National Guard, he picks the places with black leadership. Now one can only wonder why the National Guard was not deployed during the insurrection of January 6th, where white folks broke in to the Capitol, defaced the Capitol, attacked DC police officers with no consequence. If you still believe that Trump is not a racist, you might be part of the problem. Racism is a sign of low intelligence.
If you're racist, it's a sign of low IQ. That's something I've heard several times now. And I also want to throw colorism in the ring as well. This should be an obvious 1-2 punch, but some people don't know the difference between colorism and racism. So for example, I'm Filipino. And all Filipinos acknowledge that we're Filipino, but where colorism comes in is that you think people are better than others because of their skin tone, because they are a lighter skin complexion than you, which is why you see what? Whitening soaps. Whitening soap. And this goes across the board for all Asian communities. Whitening soaps, that obsession with proximity to whiteness making you better than everybody else when it just makes you look ill when you're using these soaps, right? I remember I was at a Filipino wedding. I was sat at a table with people that are mainly millennials, and I'm like a cutoff millennial, literally 95, right at the cusp. And this guy goes, I'm the whitest out of everybody here. And I should say that he had nothing going for him merit-wise, no attributes to be proud of. He was the least successful person at that table. But the one thing that he clung to was the fact that he was a lighter skin tone than everybody else, which is why when people say, oh, if you're racist, that's low IQ, and why I'm saying that if you're colorist, that's low IQ, because you got nothing else to be proud of that you bring to the table that you're in control of. The one thing you're proud of is something that you're not in control of, that you were just born with genetically, right? Which does not make you superior to other people. It's such an unintelligent way of thinking. It's such a loser mindset.
Ladies and gentlemen, why do you think these people get these narratives from? Before we even get into the list of things black people invented, before y'all started taking over them, daily reminder, you got nothing in your museums. They all belong to black people, Africans and everything. I don't know, probably NASA wouldn't be existing today. Those black women. Maybe if we bring up the fact that y'all stole everything, then now you think you have a higher IQ. Man, I remember I saw this video about a man who would say when they see a black person, I think even Charlie Kirk said it, when I see a black pilot, I know they were high because of DEI. I can't allow a black doctor to treat me. With the fact that you have a black doctor there or a black pilot, you best believe they were more clever than everybody. Because y'all at the bare minimum, your skin works for you, you just be put there, but a black person needs to actually be proved and tested and tried. How many times compared to their white counterparts? When did white people wake up and think black people have a lower IQ?
Today I was asked which country has the highest and lowest IQ in the world. So the following is from a 2010 study titled National IQs Calculated and Validated for 108 Nations. Now before I even begin, you gotta understand that studies comparing countries' IQs have always been extremely controversial. So here we go. Right, starting with the lowest IQs, in 5th place is Uganda at 73. In 4th, and it pains me to say this, but it's South Africa with an average IQ of 72. Joining us is Kenya, Zimbabwe, and Namibia. 3rd is a tie between Zambia, Ghana, and Botswana at 71. 2nd is Nigeria with an average of 69. And the country with the lowest IQ in the world is Malawi at 60. Right, onto the highest. In 5th place, we have Belgium, Canada, Croatia, Finland, Germany, New Zealand, Sweden, all at an average of 99. In 4th place is Austria, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Norway, and the UK at 100. In 3rd place is Iceland, Macau, and Switzerland at 101. China, Japan, and Taiwan tie in 2nd place with an average of 105. And then in 1st place is Hong Kong, Singapore, and South Korea with an average of 108. And if you want to see the average IQ for the job you work, I've got the one lined up for tomorrow, so check it out. 71. 2nd is Nigeria with an average of 69. And the country with the lowest IQ in the world is
all I'm saying, whoever came up with this, I'm pretty sure they've been hurt by a Nigerian person. Whether it's a man that his woman left him for a Nigerian man, or whether it's a woman that's been done wrong by a Nigerian man, I don't know, because this is rigged. This cannot be true. This cannot be true. I mean, amongst black people, let's be honest, when Nigerians make it out of struggle, they thrive. They always thrive. In corporations, if you see a black man doing well, 8 times out of 10, he's probably Nigerian or got some sort of Nigerian in him. Let's be honest. If you want to take it to F or 419, it takes brain to be able to pull off some of them things. Look at Hush Puppy. You think anyone can just do what Hush Puppy did? You have to have IQ. And what about all of you people that sent money to the Nigerian prince that said he needed money for his family? Some of them men are balling. Was that not IQ? Whose IQ was doing better at that time when you decided to send money because you felt sorry for the Nigerian prince? In fact, it's even your father that has low IQ for raising someone that can come out with such an incorrect conclusion like this. Now, if I'm to be real, yeah, and take my ego out of it, all pride aside, yeah, the only way this could make sense is if they're looking at how countries are performing in a global market. I don't know the details, but what I can say is that it's still unfair, because it's hard to judge IQ levels if there's a lot of struggle. It's not news. Nigeria, there's problems in Nigeria, right? So a lot of people have a struggle mindset. So when you have a struggle mindset, you don't have time to really explore wisdom or get educated to a level, because your mindset is focused on survival. What am I eating today? How am I going to provide today? Where am I going to sleep? Do you know what I mean? So you don't get to explore other things or get educated on worldwide things, even though this must be old, because things are changing now. A lot of people have access to the internet, and yeah, people are getting smarter. But from what I see, generally speaking, a lot of black people that are performing well worldwide, most of the time it's Nigerians. So I don't know where this came from. To me, it sounds like it came from a hater.
You know, sometimes you look at some white people and think, are they living in 2025, or they are wishing we're still living in the 1700s? Because out of everything black people have done, most especially for America, I don't expect a white settler, you know, they say they're not immigrants, they're settlers. A white settler, at least a settler knows, you know, settlers will be knowing they don't belong here. And y'all know white people, you don't belong there. If you wake up and say black people have the lowest IQ, I don't know, what does it say about you? Somebody who left wherever you came from, nobody knows where, to come and settle. So you want to tell me white people left their countries, wherever they came from Europe or whatever, came to the United States of America, came, bombarded Africa. Because Africans and black people had nothing. I think these people actually think because they had pew-pews, they think that is what smartness is. You know, when you got, and you put it on somebody, you're the smart one. So I think when they sit there and look at the power they have in the pew-pews, they think that is smarter.
They want to talk about black incompetence. I want to talk about the fact that I had significant medical concerns over the last 2 years that required me to see way too many medical doctors who all wrote me off as a psychiatric patient with anxiety. 8 total providers, 4 of which were white males, 0 of which were black providers to be exact. And do you know which doctor was that decided to get on board without hesitation, without second thought, and listen to what I had to say and believe what I had to say and determine that I actually need brain surgery? That would be the 9th provider that I saw, who also happens to be a black female neurosurgeon. It's not black incompetence that's at play here.
As smart as you are and you think you have the highest IQ, you left your country, came colonize other people's countries, and stole minerals from them, stole everything from them. And you want to say you have a higher IQ when you couldn't create those things in your countries? I mean, you have a higher IQ. You should have spoken gold into existence so that it exists in Europe, but it doesn't. Just saying.